Musical notes. Are you ready to transform the way you think about work and leadership? Glowing star. In a world where economic instability and remote work have left us feeling disconnected, renowned author and thought leader Seth Godin offers a powerful new vision in his latest book, The Song of Significance, Books, Sparkles. In this video, we'll dive into Godin's soulful re-envisioning of work, exploring why it's become so challenging, and uncovering actionable insights on how leaders and teams can create a more meaningful and engaging work environment. Briefcase. From addressing the roots of workplace dissatisfaction to inspiring a shift towards trust and empowerment, The Song of Significance is a must-read for anyone looking to make a real difference in their organization. Join us as we explore the provocative stanzas that challenge the status quo and inspire a brighter future for work. Africa, rocket. Don't miss out, hit that subscribe button and let's embark on this journey together. Flex biceps, bell. This book is about choosing to lead work in a way that makes it meaningful for employees and valuable for organizations. The current way work is structured often leaves both employers and employees feeling depleted and that opportunities are being missed. When asked what characterized their best job, over 10,000 people most often cited being able to accomplish surprising things, work independently, feeling the team built something important, and being treated with respect. Making a living is important, but how do we make a life through our work? The book explores creating conditions at work that allow people to do their best work and feel their efforts matter through 3 songs: The Song of Increase, Safety, and Significance. It examines challenges modern organizations face and how a new approach could lead to more innovative, resilient and impactful companies. Specific topics covered include what motivates people, different kinds of work, evaluating what types of work we truly value, developing skills for this new way of working, creating a culture of mutual respect, making meaningful decisions, and transforming meetings into opportunities rather than obligations. The goal is to provide a compass for organizations to chart a course where work fulfills both economic and human needs and people feel proud of their contributions. The book offers practical commitments and approaches for making this vision a reality. The passage discusses the future of work and different pathways that could be taken. It suggests that current approaches focused purely on paychecks and productivity may not be sustainable long-term. As an alternative, it proposes focusing on creating truly meaningful jobs that people would genuinely miss if they were gone. Building organizations with purpose that make a positive impact. Work where people can openly discuss their contributions without hesitation. It then presents 3 songs as metaphors: The Song of Increase about growth and taking risks for new opportunities, The Song of Safety about seeking security, and The Song of Significance about finding work that really matters. It questions whether we can move beyond just seeking safety towards work that creates value. And argues that what workers fundamentally want is agency and dignity, while what companies now need are creativity and humanity rather than just cheap labor. The passage ends by framing the choice as one between industrial capitalism focused on profits and power versus market capitalism focused on solving problems and customer needs. Suggesting the future path is unclear but focusing on positive impact and humanity could lead somewhere better. Here is a summary of the key points in the equation. Late-stage industrial capitalism does not know where to stop. It captures those seeking safety and also shackles those seeking significance. Industrial capitalism seeks to maximize efficiency, productivity and profits through standardized processes and surveillance of workers. It aims to stamp out the very things that allow for creativity, innovation and human connection, the things that provide significance in work. Significance in work is inconvenient for industrial capitalism as it prioritizes metrics like speed, costs and outputs over humanity. Powerful new tools now exist for communication, production and sharing information, but using them well requires commitment to a different set of values and rules focused on people over profits. There is a choice between viewing workers as resources to be monitored and managed, versus valued contributors with flexibility and decision-making power. Most organizations fall somewhere in between, but technology and competition are pushing more towards industrial models while community and purpose are pushing towards models that value people over profits. The question is what work is actually for: creating value for others through significance, or maximizing outputs through industrialization and harm. In summary, it contrasts the dehumanizing effects of late-stage industrial capitalism with the potential for work to provide significance, humanity and positive social impact when the right values and approaches are adopted. The passage discusses some of the fears and obstacles that prevent people from leading change or pushing initiatives forward in organizations. Things like past trauma, entrenched systems of hierarchy and privilege, and the tendency for managers to manipulate employees' fear and insecurity to maintain control and compliance. It notes that trust is difficult to earn given these societal and workplace forces that have conditioned people over many years. Teams can overcome this by creating a culture of clarity, professionalism, and engagement where people feel heard and involved in the process. Leading change requires trust, which is built over time by consistently keeping promises and focusing on principles and processes rather than rigid plans or directives from the top down. It's about having impartial conversations to understand different perspectives rather than trying to coerce others to your own viewpoint. Some key questions are suggested to ask at the beginning and end of projects to help teams work together effectively toward change and continuously learn and improve. The overall message is about overcoming fear and building trust collectively through an open and inclusive approach. This summary discusses several major changes happening in society. The dawn of computers and rise of the internet, which has transformed how people connect and do business. The degradation of the environment, which has led some organizations to focus on sustainability and serving the earth. The end of industrialism, as the focus shifts away from simply maximizing output and productivity to prioritizing human needs. The key lessons discussed are that organizations can effectively move forward by focusing on what humans need, what creates significance for people, and asking how they can make a positive impact rather than just gaining market share. While these changes were initially inconvenient for many industries, they are revolutionizing how business is done. The summary touches on how different sectors like internet companies and industrial firms are adapting to these societal shifts. The passage discusses the historical context around 18th-century French religious figure Jean-Baptiste de La Salle and his innovative system of using scoring and rewards to motivate students. It notes how this approach has been amplified and commercialized in the modern education system through apps like Class Dojo that gamify student behaviors and turn learning into a point-earning game. Concerns are raised that this prioritizes immediate obedience, compliance, and consumption over developing imagination or intrinsic motivation. It trains students for an industrial regime of control focused on short-term productivity. Examples are given of how the point systems can negatively impact student well-being and prioritize earning rewards over actual learning. However, the author acknowledges there may be some benefits when tools like Class Dojo are used judiciously to enhance communication. Overall, it presents gamification and constant external motivating through points as a shortcut that avoids human connection, favors bureaucratic control over student well-being, and puts students on an endless hamster wheel focused more on feeding corporate profits than developing their souls. Distributed, autonomous workforces have created some of the most highly regarded software by allowing employees to work from anywhere, anytime without rigid management structures. Successful political campaigns, nonprofits, and businesses like a sandwich shop demonstrate organizations don't need traditional structures. Management focuses on control and efficiency while leadership inspires people to work towards a shared vision. Organizations can be successful selling any product as long as they prioritize how the work is done and treating employees well. Some elements like surgery quality control need to be tightly managed, while other areas allow more autonomy and humanity. A carpet company transformed itself to become carbon negative and improve employee well-being through a sustainability journey led by empowering employees. Compliance focuses on short-term gains while leadership creates the conditions for long-term change. Traditional management views employees as resources to extract value from rather than as people, leading to problems. The focus needs to shift to leading with humanity. Henry Ford and Frederick Taylor pioneered industrial management concepts in the early 1900s that broke work into simplistic repetitive tasks, treating people like machines. This mentality still impacts many workplaces today. The passage discusses how management mindsets that focus on efficiency and treating humans as resources rather than people can be problematic. This leads organizations to race to the bottom and prioritize short-term gains over human well-being. It argues for a leadership approach that focuses on creating meaningful work and conditions where people can do work that matters. Management is about using power to get what you want, while leadership is about creating something significant. Several examples are given of organizations that focus on significance rather than just efficiency. This includes a car wash that hires people with autism and gives employees a sense of purpose, safety, and accountability. Another example highlights focusing on extreme or power users to help serve all users better. The passage warns against relying too much on easy metrics and proxies for evaluation that don't accurately capture human work. True significance requires looking more deeply at what really matters. Overall, it promotes an approach to work that sees humans as the priority rather than just a resource or production factor. Maurice Mitchell published an essay identifying traps that can prevent organizations from moving forward, including maximalism, anti-leadership attitudes, anti-institutional sentiment, and others. These traps arise due to legitimate reasons like fatigue from long-term injustice and indoctrination of industrialism, but focusing on them prevents organizations from making impact and change. It's important for teams to be aware of these traps as they seek to move forward in their goals. Simply naming the traps can help teams stay focused on the shared work. Leadership involves understanding what each person brings and acknowledging challenges when they appear, so the team can get back to the work they aim to do. Courage involves doing difficult things worth doing, even when afraid. Creating resilient organizations requires moving beyond fear-based compliance to cultivate a culture where great work and value are prioritized over just doing what the boss says. Impacts of leadership reverberate beyond the immediate team/organization. So in summary, the key is identifying potential roadblocks or traps that can prevent forward progress, and having the courage and leadership to acknowledge challenges while keeping the team focused on their shared goals and impact. The passage discusses N.F.S. Grinfig's concept of the living word, the desire to actively connect, speak and be heard rather than simply being told what to do from a distance. It talks about how people desire safety, affiliation/status, and significance. Significance means making an impact and being missed if gone. This involves risk and tension between safety and change. Tension is not to be avoided but is partnered with enrollment, voluntary commitment for emotional/cultural benefit rather than money. Leaders help people find significance rather than compliance. Money is not the main motivator, intrinsic forces are. Innovation and resilience come from mutual engagement, like building a canoe together through each person's unique contributions. Leaders take people from the present situation to change circumstances, lingering in the uncertain space between known and unknown for originality. The work involves being in two places at once, acknowledging the present while changing it. The liminal space contains uncertainty but also tricksters who sow chaos for self-serving reasons, lacking commitment to others. Enrollment and culture help navigate this space as impact and scale increase. An autocratic, centralized organization will have difficulties keeping up with changing situations compared to open systems that allow many leaders to emerge from within the network. Such networked organizations can outperform top-down hierarchical structures. Katherine Jansen led the development of multiple successful vaccines and helped save lives during the COVID pandemic through her collaborative leadership approach. She persisted through challenges and connected diverse teams to tackle problems through rigorous data-driven work. New solutions arise not from isolated individuals but from connecting groups of people around significant projects. Katie's greenhouse system for small Indian farmers succeeded through establishing the right collaborative network and coordination, not a technical breakthrough alone. James Daunt revived struggling bookstore chains not through top-down control but by empowering store employees and creating the right environment for people passionate about books to promote products they love. This decentralized, self-organizing approach built resilience. An organization needs to uphold commitments to employees and enable their enrollment, while employees also need to embrace responsibility. Mutual commitments can create a new way of working focused on significance rather than obedience. The goal should be to create meaningful change and make things better, not just focus on profit. We need to be clear about who the change benefits and how. We should act with intention in our decisions, metrics, and interactions. Meetings need a clear purpose and should only last as long to achieve that purpose. Prioritizing human dignity is important both morally and competitively. People want to feel valued and contribute meaningfully. Tension comes with change but is good, it's a sign we're trying new things. Mistakes are how we learn as long as we improve. Taking responsibility individually but giving credit to others builds a better culture than one based on hierarchy and obedience. Feedback helps improve work, so criticism should target work, not workers. Turnover is normal now, people shouldn't feel stuck in one job or company for life. The focus should be on meaningful work and change, not just profit or control. The passage argues that employees need to be actively engaged in producing value for the organization. Constant turnover is actually beneficial as it ensures employees are choosing to stay voluntarily rather than feeling like they have no other options. In a gig economy, organizations should embrace this approach by encouraging employees to keep their resumes up to date and leave when a role no longer suits them, as long as they gain knowledge from the experience. Mutual respect should be expected between all parties involved, including employees, customers, investors, etc. Bullying is not tolerated as it damages connections. Everyone deserves respect. Obedience is not as important as adherence to consistent quality standards. Employees should take initiative to understand systems and make decisions, not just do what they're told blindly. Reading about the work being done in industry is important. Employees should document their work processes openly for others to learn from, like leaving notebooks at desks after work. Continuous improvement is human nature. Employees should look for ways to make incremental enhancements, not just voice opinions. Small contributions add up over time. Focusing only on easily measurable technical skills in hiring/training misses other crucial soft skills like attitudes, culture, and commitment that differentiate high-performing organizations. These are harder to measure but more important. Real, difficult-to-measure skills like passion and limiting negative behaviors should be celebrated more, not just vocational checkboxes. This is a way for organizations to move forward. When employees steal from their company, they are stealing from their fellow employees/co-workers, not just the boss or company. This undermines the shared interests of the workforce. Real skills like leadership, teamwork, communication, etc. are just as important as vocational skills but are often overlooked or downplayed. These soft skills can and should be taught and developed. Organizations should celebrate, reward, and amplify real skills, not just easily measurable vocational skills, in order to build truly people-centric workplaces. Communicating openly and honestly with employees is important but difficult, as many managers feel uncomfortable doing so. Overcoming this requires building trust and understanding between management and workers. Taking a coaching approach to leadership, focusing on mutual understanding and empowerment rather than control, can help facilitate real communication and improvement. Autocratic, bullying styles of leadership that create a culture of fear are not effective long-term and do not truly enroll employees. Feedback and dissent should be welcomed to continually improve. So in summary, it advocates developing real interpersonal skills, prioritizing understanding between workers and management, and adopting a coaching leadership approach focused on empowerment over control or compliance. The passage discusses federated systems as an approach to solving complex problems that involve many elements and people. A federated system creates a set of rules and communication tools that allow people to work in parallel to create value and solve shared problems, without needing centralized control. Some key benefits of federated systems mentioned include: they can handle complexity that would be intractable for a single manager or authority to control. Communication remains effective even with many participants, avoiding the challenges that arise in communicating within large, centralized teams. Individuals and subgroups can innovate and advance the overall system independently as long as they follow the agreed-upon rules/APIs. There is flexibility and resiliency compared to centrally controlled approaches. APIs play an important role by allowing interaction and participation within larger systems without needing direct permission. Examples of real-world federated systems include email networks, credit card networks, and the system that brings this book to readers through various independent participants like printers and distributors. Federated, open systems tend to outperform centralized, controlled institutions over time. Organizations that spend all their time on known problems and routine tasks should focus on efficiency rather than innovation. Their goal is speed and low costs. If the goal is change and progress, the job is to find new solutions and opportunities. These organizations should see themselves as pathfinders exploring new territories rather than just optimizing existing systems. Many successful companies pivoted to activities very different from their original plans, showing the value of flexibility over rigidity. Meetings have become a major symptom of inefficient, industrial-style management. They are often just a way for managers to announce information rather than have real conversations. Digital technologies like Zoom allow for more flexible and efficient communication than traditional in-person meetings, but they are often still used in the same rigid, lecture-style format. Real change comes from organizational culture, not top-down directives. Systems need to promote open communication and shared goals rather than hierarchy. Case studies show that eliminating regular meetings for a period and shifting to asynchronous updates can improve productivity and trust within teams. For meetings to be truly valuable, they need to have clear outcomes, involve active participation from all, and lead to decisions rather than just information sharing. The goal should be meaningful conversations, not box-checking rituals. In summary, the key message is that organizations need flexibility and open communication to innovate, rather than rigid hierarchy and routines, and meeting culture is one area that often reflects ineffective industrial-style management rather than empowering teams. The passage discusses how to have more productive and meaningful meetings. It advocates for focusing on real engagement and conversation rather than just filling time slots. People should attend meetings where they can genuinely contribute and discuss ideas, not just multitask or reaffirm status. Meetings work best when participants are fully present and willing to interact, not when they aren't engaged or wasting each other's time. Overall, the key is having meetings that facilitate open communication and finding missing pieces through discussion, rather than superficial check-ins or power plays. Productive meetings require participants who are invested in the work and each other, not just going through the motions. Here is a summary of the key points about money from the provided text. You don't need more time or more money to make decisions, you simply need to decide. Having more resources is not necessary for taking action. Prioritize service over territories or credit. Focus on responsibility rather than just taking credit. Taking responsibility is harder but more constructive. Don't be attached to past results. Look to improve the future instead of dwelling on the past. Bees work hard right away despite initial poor performance, and together their collective work improves over time through incremental improvements. Criticize the work, not the worker. Focus feedback on improving the work, not on labeling individuals as good or bad. People aren't consistently right or wrong, they consistently contribute. Say I don't know when you don't have certainty. Leaving space for uncertainty allows others to contribute and builds resilience over false guarantees. Don't hoard information, access, interoperability or love. Trust is built by being open and keeping promises, not controlling things secretly. Measure outcomes that really matter over just easy metrics. Important things are rarely easy to measure precisely. So in summary, the key messages are to focus on service and responsibility over other factors, embrace uncertainty, don't dwell on the past or cling to false certainties, and prioritize meaningful outcomes rather than just superficial metrics. Continuous improvement is more valuable than one-time successes or resources. The passage discusses hiring practices and how they can be inefficient, ineffective, and a barrier to diversity. It notes that in interviews, people tend to hire those they like and who have similar backgrounds, overlooking potentially great candidates. It proposes that the internet allows seeing more work samples from people, rather than just resumes. However, most hiring systems still rely on outdated models of hiring as a dating process where superficial factors like education are overemphasized. The passage draws a parallel to Michael Lewis' book Moneyball about how an unconventional baseball manager focused on overlooked statistics to build a successful team. It argues traditional hiring overlooks passion and teamwork in favor of compliant employees. To fix this, it suggests trying projects together before hiring to really see how people work. The key is mutual trust, being real about what each side offers rather than pretending. The goal should be finding diversity, passion, and teamwork rather than just compliance. Here is a summary of the text. The text shares Seth Godin's perspective that most organizations have not put much effort into developing and improving real skills among their teams, beyond technical/vocational skills. It proposes 5 categories of real skills: self-control, productivity, wisdom, perception, and influence. Many examples are given for each category. Self-control skills include adaptability, resilience, honesty, stress management, etc. Productivity skills include time management, decision-making, troubleshooting, delegation. Wisdom skills grow from experience and include empathy, mentoring, critical thinking. Perception skills include design thinking, judging situations strategically. Influence skills include leadership, storytelling, persuasion. The text asks if it's possible to teach, hire for, reward, and develop these real skills in an organizational context. It suggests that doing so could lead to greater productivity, profits, and workplace satisfaction. The challenge is for organizations to prioritize real skills development. In summary, the text proposes a framework for understanding and developing important real skills beyond technical abilities, and argues that organizations should do more to identify, measure, and improve employees' real skills.